Well, hey, everybody, welcome back to Twin Spires on the road to the Kentucky Derby. We enter the month of March, a big first weekend of Derby prep races. Scott Shapiro, Darin Zoccali with you to take you through a couple of those this weekend. We're going to focus here on the Battaglia Memorial at Turfway Park. And Scott, this is a race that's rich in history. It's been dated back since 1982. Some nice horses have won this, including George Steinbrenner's Concerto. Not sure if there's a Derby contender in here, but this is a pretty fun race to handicap.
Absolutely, Darin. I know you're excited. One of the better cards all year at Turfway Park, which you follow every day for us and do the expert picks and do a great job of it for Twin Spires. And this race came up stronger than I thought. I knew there would be some solid runners in there, and we'll talk about in a moment. But the presence of Tiz the Bomb shipping in, as well as a few other horses coming in addition to the local run horses that are kind of maybe hoping to springboard this spot into a spot in the big race come next month. But yeah, a lot of fun to cap this race. Look forward to chatting with you about it.
And the pace scenario is rather interesting because there are some sprinters stretching out, but you have to question the quality of that speed moving out around two turns. Does it produce a fast paced scenario, or maybe does a horse like a race be able to get loose on the lead here and prove tough?
Yeah, I went back and forth on it, and that we talked a little bit offline. At first, I thought a lot of pace, then I was worried about it. But I do think the inside horses having that speed is going to force the hand of a couple. You have Golden Eye, who's along the inside, Billy Morty with another runner from off the pace in here. You would have to think Albin Jimenez is going to be aggressive from the gate. You got La Belza Negra, who really only has one way to go. And then you have a race. So in the end, I do think at the very least, it'll be contentious.
And we all know when we watch Turfway, there's a strong advantage to the inside. You don't want to be hooked wide into that first turn because even at a mile and a 16th, it tends to come up pretty quickly and sneak up on you. We haven't seen the morning line yet, Scott, but one of the horses that obviously takes center stage is Tiz the Bomb. This is a horse who was the winner of the Grade 2 Bourbon over the turf course at Keeneland last year, went into the Breeders' Cup Turf as a major player and ran unbelievably well to finish a strong second from far back. Then went to the Holy Bull on dirt, looked like he hated the surface. I thought he was climbing throughout the race. I just think despite his win at Ellis, this is not a dirt horse. And now he gets to synthetic where maybe he could take a step forward.
Yeah, he's a super talented horse. He'll try the synthetic for the first time. Completely agree with your assessment about his effort in the Holy Bull. Not only was he climbing, looked like a horse that hated the dirt and the kickback, but he also was extremely washed out before the race. So it's a very forgivable effort for those reasons. But you have to answer the question. He's going to be a relatively short price in a pretty solid group. Are you willing to take that chance with a horse that's never raced over the synthetic and is shipping in from out of town off a poor effort?
And there's some other options that have some backlash to them as well. And one of the horses that I know that you're a fan of in here is the Mike Maker trainee Stolen Base. And talk about him because he finished second, beaten 3/4 of a length to Tiz the Bomb, which shows that he could run with that horse in any situation.
Yeah, the son of Bodemeister, a very pricey son. They spent $335,000 at the most recent Keeneland November 2021 sale for this colt. He's had trouble getting out of the gate in his most recent starts there, and I hope he can fix that. But he has a very strong turn of foot. He's taken on some real solid competition over his career. You mentioned the effort in the Bourbon when he had too much to do late to get to Tiz the Bomb in the lane. If he can figure out those gate issues under new jockey Gerardo Corrales, I think he has a big shot to run him down in the lane. Remains to be seen what his price will be. I'm going to need at least 4-1 to want to get involved, but I do like his chances most to beat Tiz the Bomb.
And there are a few jockeys at Turfway Park that you want aboard more than Gerardo Corrales. He knows this track like the back of his hand. There's no fluke that he's been the leading rider there the last couple of years and looks well on his way to claiming that title once again. A horse that I like, who's actually also coming out of that Bourbon race from last year, and I think is going to offer a price incentive, is On Thin Ice. Mark Casse trainee, did not make much of an impact in the Bourbon. Last couple of starts, though, was much better over synthetic surfaces at Woodbine and Turfway. And one of the things that I've learned handicapping these races at Turfway is it doesn't always matter what type of backlash you have on other surfaces. Not everybody gets over this synthetic surface, this Tapeta surface, whether they run well on turf, dirt. It seems to not make much of a difference. So I like to see a horse that's a proven commodity over the track where I've seen a race and I know, okay, this horse can get over this surface on thin ice, even though he got beat by Tony Port last time, showed me he can get over the surface. And oh, by the way, Tony Port was far from disgraced running fifth in the Risen Star Stakes last week.
Yeah, the Brad Cox runner that you mentioned, Tawny Port, a very solid animal that did take to this surface, as has On Thin Ice. Had to wait a little bit from that inside draw, too. You could argue he was as good as Tawny Port that day. Did get a favorable voyage otherwise, but has been moving forward in each and every start. If you look at the Brisnet speed ratings, he should be sitting on a pretty big effort off the freshening. I like the pick.
It's no surprise that Scott and I are all about the Bourbon in one way or another. Stolen Base for himself, On Thin Ice for me. Those are our selections for the Battaglia Memorial. Best of luck. Don't forget, we have the Road to the Kentucky Derby leaderboard contest all season long. Make sure you go to twinspires.com, opt in, bet on these horses to win. And as they win these races, you accumulate points and move yourself up the leaderboard. So take part in that with us and watch and wager all season long at Twin Spires. Good luck, everybody.